understand. But of course, we're having an interesting conversation here, talking about who is to step down to take care of the home when it comes to marriage. Should it be the woman? Should it be the man? And of course, Martha has laid down her point. I've laid down my point. Nan has laid down her point. Of course, she has stepped out.
You kicked her out because she said she's inexperienced. Justice for single people.
And of course, we have someone who is more experienced. Yeah, she's a wife, she's a mother, she's a business woman. 3 in 1. Talking about the experience. Right. Now we have, I hope, Paul Lawrence joining us on this conversation. She's an edutech expert as well too. Right. Good morning, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Victor and Martha. Yeah. Thank you. Wonderful conversation that you have been having.
Thank you very much.
To be honest with you, I read that tweet and I want to say Buchi had a point. But, you know, when it comes to reality, really, in the world that we're in right now, certain things don't work. If you look at the settings that we have currently, the family settings, I mean, certain things will not fly. Like asking a woman to step down, you know, just so that, you know, she can take care of the baby while you work. That won't work because we are in a fast-paced world and everyone needs to be up and doing. You know, you have to be very active in business or, you know, at the home front. And then one thing I want to clarify, no matter the path that you choose, every single step of the way you're making a sacrifice. And no sacrifice is less of a sacrifice.
Exactly.
You sacrificing to take care of the kids, it's much of a sacrifice as the one who goes to work every morning, you know, to get some money into the house. As we know, no man right now can single-handedly say, I want to handle the finances of the home, because it's going to be so cumbersome, and at some point you would, you know, you cry out. So we are not leaving these roles, you know, we're not tagging roles to gender here.
Exactly.
What we're looking for is a balance where we all come together to understand the world that we're currently in, to understand how things are supposed to run. Really, we're not looking at, oh, the woman must take care of the child while the man works. We're not also looking at the child must be with the mother. We're looking at a setting that allows both parties to function to their fullest capacity without anyone being how will I put it, without anyone feeling like, oh,
they're left behind.
Do you understand that? So Martha, what you're saying is right. So I think that at this point where Buchi came from is kind of stereotyping the gender, right? For you know certain roles, which is not the position for today's world. Really, I can tell you for free, I'm a mother, really, and let me tell you something. I got pregnant when I got admission to do my MBA, and then I had to work at the same time, and I was building a business by the side. So I had a lot running at that time, and then I had to carry this pregnancy for 9 months. For God's sake, 9 months is already, you know, a hell of, you know, a struggle. So you have to be there to, you know, nurture yourself, you know, while you're pregnant. You have to be there to ensure that the home front is not suffering. You have to also be there to look after your business or work, right? And then if you're doing a 9 to 5 like I do, you have to answer to your boss's call at every given time, right? So these all compounds to the fact that as a woman, you cannot now fold your hand and say, oh, I want to step aside from a life that you have already been building or built over time to just, you know, want to take care of, well, anyone who decides to do that, I give them a kudos, but you know, it's not realistic. So we have to be very intentional when we make tweets or when we respond to people's posts. You know, I feel like sometimes the comments that we see under people's posts are kind of born out of maybe the things that work for them.
But the reflection of who they are.
Thank you. You see, so that thing, trying to tag what works for you on other people is really wrong, right? You can't say because it's working for me, it must work for this other or that other person. We have to come to terms with the fact that life takes a turn. It takes its turn, and then things happen differently. No matter who you are, you need to understand that balance is everything that we need in life. And once we're able to balance the home front, the woman is contributing as much as she can. The man is also contributing as much as he can. Then we have a beautiful family. We can all, you know, live in peace, because that's at the end of the day what we're looking for. So beautiful conversation. So, but let's not also cut that fact, because I'm standing with Martha. Buchi kind of stereotyped, and that is wrong to do.
Thank you.
If he,
man,
he tried.
I need you back.
No. He tried to create a balance afterward, but you know, the deed has already been done, because you can read in between the lines saying that women are naturally born to do this, it's a no-no.
It's a no.
So let me ask a question.
Okay.
You know, taking it from why most men work to start with, it is beyond just providing for the money, which is one of the reasons. Most men also work for validation. That is also one of the things that societal status has brought on us, right? Now, if a man suggests to quit his job to take care of his home, will he still have that same respect, you know, back at home?
Victor, okay, so let me tell you, there are a lot of women that do the job, get the finances in, while the men do little or nothing. There are lots of women like that.
Especially in Africa.
Just in Africa, here in Nigeria, like people have had experience with, right? In my own experience, when I was growing up, in fact, the lady was actually a bank manager, and you know how it is working in the banking sector. The man had to quit his job because he cared so much for the family. He knew that he had to be there for the kids. The mother would not always be there. So him taking up that role doesn't make him less of a man.
That's right.
He still has his respect, because that's taking care of kids is a whole lot, to be honest. It's something that you have to, if you're not educated enough, you may not be able to handle that. So he had to step aside, right? It didn't make him less of a man. I've seen a pastor too. This one, he's a pastor. The woman was a bank manager. But at some point, she had to step down that role. Not like he was bringing so much money. In fact, she was earning more than he was earning. But she had to take a break to, you know, go back home and then allow him to do what he was called to do. So this is all understanding, like I said, and people trying to create balance as much as they can, knowing that we are in a fast-paced world that will not wait for you. Times are changing. The job nature that people take on change, you know, over time. So these things are no matter of conversation. They're a matter of people coming together and understanding that, oh, this is where we are at the moment, and this is what we need to do to ensure that our family is together and we're, you know, getting along with life and having the success that we want to have as a family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this contribution. Now, seriously, not just because you took my side, but because at least someone sees from the perspective that I am saying. Coincidentally, I was in a ride, I got in a boat ride yesterday on my way home. And the car that I entered, this was the kind of conversation that we were having. So I stopped by, I said, let me go get something to eat. And I was like, why didn't you cook? I was like, I didn't have time, that's why I didn't do that. And he was like, that his wife must be a superwoman. He said to me, his wife must be a superhuman, because she wakes up in the morning, steal the bank, because you kept talking about bank managers, steal the bank. So she works at the bank at 5 or 4, the food is already ready, she has prepared the kids, and then he goes to drop her at her work, does the school runs and goes to drop her at the work. And now from what I understood from what he said, you could see a very functional home. And that is functional because everyone was pulling their weight in. Not because one man sits somewhere and says, oh, it's the responsibility of the woman. He helps out with preparing the children as well. Okay, while we are preparing the meal, I will bathe the children and dress them up for school. Or if you decide to make the meals, I will, family family or raising kids is partnership. You cannot do it by playing roles, because you know when we say, oh, in marriage everyone has to bring 50-50, and not 50-50 not with resources now, 50-50 with your energy. There are days when
actually it's come down to 50-50 as resources.
Not just even in resources. I'm talking about energy now. So, but there are days your partner will be undeniably on a 10. You can't say that they must be there 50. The days that the mother who you say is charged with responsibility of caring for that kid is a 10, what happens? The children suffers because you don't understand that it's partnership in the home. And you see, this is why we have cases of a lot of women who feel like they've been cheated out of their life because they got married. Just take a look at the statistics of how many married women are actually happy in Nigeria. Then maybe you can talk about the world, but let's talk about Nigeria first. You hear them say things like, he married me, he just opened shop. What were you doing before then? I was a lawyer. What were you doing before then? I was a banker. What were you doing before then? I was a journalist. He married me, say he doesn't want me to work, and he opened shop for me. And then I was working in the shop. I started having children. I could not go back to my profession again.
You see, they missed conversation there too in the place of dating. Maybe understanding, maybe coming to a compromise.
You get
maybe
my point.
They missed it.
You get my point. Conversations will come up like this based on who you marry. My problem is the fact that you generalize the idea. It is based on who you marry. I can get married today and decide that if my husband can take care of the family, why am I working? I don't want to work, and he thinks that I should not work as well, and I'm satisfied with just being at home. I have no problem with it. Let me tell you now, the work you think I like to work, it will disappear within a twinkle.
Right.
It's not. Nothing is cast in stone. If today he says, I have enough money, and I see that you have money, and you have a plan to keep the money coming in, why do I need to work? I will not work. But when you don't have a plan, I'm earning more than you. You are telling me to step down.
Yeah.
Your children will suffer.
What if he has plans? Maybe the plans are not just manifesting. He has vision.
Do you know
He's
how many
working
people
towards
have
those
plans
visions.
in Tinubu's administration?
But those things are not
Do you know how
manifesting.
many people have plans?
But Victor,
yes.
while you have those plans, right? These are still plans. They are
Yes.
still, in progress. Things that you're hoping to achieve.
Yeah.
But here is a woman who
It's
brings
already
in.
earning.
Do you understand? Because to be honest, as much as we want to downplay on the finances and the resources, this is the bedrock of marriage.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yes, love is a thing, but when there's no money, the love kind of has. Do you understand? So you have a wife that loves you and is willing to go out there to work to get the resources in so that the family can, have something on the table every day. Your plans are irrelevant at that moment.
Yeah.
So your
Okay.
plans remain plans. So you have to keep your plans
As
there
plans.
as plans. And then until they manifest, you allow her to her
Her
bit.
thing.
Of course.
Right, that's my position. Anyway, I will not say it's the position of everybody, but this is my position. You allow her do her stuff, and then
Contribute
until
what you
when
can.
yes, until when you can really come in, step in, and then take that role fully.
Properly.
And if she's happy to step aside, because I know a lot of women that will not be happy because they want their own earnings, they want
Yeah,
their money.
definitely.
There's something your own personal money does for you.
exactly.
Right? The fact that you can, wake up and say, okay, let me do this thing.
Yeah.
Let me do this. It gives you some sort of joy.
Yeah.
Right? So, if that person is someone who likes to contribute, you cannot downplay that
Yeah.
part. So you need to be, like I said, you need to be rational. You need to come to that point where you know of a truth that these things are a makeup of understanding. They are not just a standalone, like nobody has, how do I put it,
A
monopoly
monopoly.
of this experience.
Exactly.
Experiences are different for different people, for
Yeah.
different family. What works for you may not be what works for me.
Right.
So bringing what works for you to say, oh, it is the thing,
the standard.
right? Or
Yeah.
the standard.
Okay.
That's-
Let me ask this. You're a mother. But you talked about the fact that women are naturally, inclined to taking care and nurturing their children. In that, just using that particular line, is that true? Are women not naturally inclined? Does women not have that natural ability to nurture their children?
Victor, so I use myself as an example. I'm not naturally inclined.
Okay.
I'm sorry for
So
laughing
sorry
like
to
a
break
squirrel.
your heart.
I told ya.
Sorry to break
Yes.
your heart. You've known me for a while.
Yes.
I'm not naturally inclined to doing that. In fact, I stepped up to it when I realized that, oh, this is my reality now. I have to face it. But
Exactly.
even at that, I think my husband does a better job. Yes. Because see, I have to be on the road almost every day. I have
Yeah.
to go out almost every day. Not like I don't do what I need to do, right? But he stays more with my child, and takes care of the child. So I think he does a better job than for right now. He does all the jobs because to be honest, I don't see my child really close to me. It's my husband. Every time he's always excited to see his dad. Does that make me less of a mother?
Nope.
No. So it's not all women that are naturally inclined to doing it. If you ask some women, they would rather not.
Right.
Yes.
I'm just.
But-
Do you have any other thing to say?
Well,
Because
I think in the end the whole thing boils down to
Sorry,
I like it.
the whole thing boils down to
I
the
love
personalities of the people that you're with, right?
Exactly.
That's what the whole thing boils down to.
Exactly.
And of course, as a man personally, right?
So yeah. So this is just for you to take.
It is your looks to me, Martha.
I'm just eager to hear what your defense is.
No matter. So this is just for you, because I know you're still single and you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
So that when you get to that point, you're not like it is women's job. She's naturally. It will break your heart when you discover that the woman that you felt was naturally inclined to doing this thing doesn't have any clue. Yeah. So I've seen scenarios of women who don't even know how to bathe their babies. It's the men that step in to do that, feed the baby, bathe. So I mean, these things we cannot overemphasize on these things, right?
Funny enough, I'm more inclined to doing these things. That's the funny thing. But the truth is, don't box me into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand the fact that because more women stay at home, That's why it became a thing for
Yeah.
people to just naturally think that, oh, mothers will do it. They will not. They had to learn it. It's not like they give birth to them with this thing. I understand that there's a bond that the child will have with the mother when she gives birth to the child. But the reason you think that bond is formed just because it's the mother is because the mother tends to spend more time with the child than any other person.
Exactly.
If you give birth to a child today and you hand the child over to the father, and the father raises that child, that bond you see with the child and the mother, you see it with the father and the child.
Truly.
Nobody has the monopoly of these things. But again, it's the dynamics in your family. What works in your home? Am I more inclined to doing this thing? What is your strength? Oh, I think I will care more for the children. When it comes to money and all these things, please do it. Okay, I say I think I can bring money. You also can bring money. So let's just do what works for the family. So nothing is, even the 50-50. If it works in your home, it works with resources. If it works for you people, it works. There's no, but what I see most contemporary men trying to do is they want to maintain the ego of the past generation and they don't want to adjust. But you cannot put old wine in new wine. It will burst.
Yeah.
It will burst.
But of course, there are lots of flexibility. We've seen that happen as well too. She of course, she's a clear example. You've talked about the fact that your husband is very flexible in this regard. So we've seen men that are more intentional, and
You
men that
have
are
no
flexible.
point.
I do have a point. So
no point.
again, just to, everything again. Everything works differently for every family. Just like you said, still in your point right now. Some women love to stay home. Some men also do love to stay home. So I think the crux of the matter is that we should normalize both of them. Abi, on that case now.
Case closed. Thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate your support.
Man, I missed you.
You see what they were
But
trying
thank you
to do
so much,
to me?
man.
You see what they were trying to
Appreciate
do?
you, man. Thank you.
But thank you so much. It made a lot of sense to hear that. But again, we will re-emphasize the need to note that what happens for you, you have to understand the dynamics of your family. And it's not something that you start understanding when you get married. It's something you understand while you are in a relationship with this person. You need to know what their ideologies are about, responsibilities within the home front. It's not something you start to figure out when you get into the situation. So best color, best whatever, all of those things are just secondary things that you should know about your partner. The primary things are their ideologies, their values, their principles, and their general outlook on life. So is this the point where we end the show?
We're in the talking stage. What's your favorite colleague?
Serious, Victor.
Very serious.
Yeah, trouble. Of course, this is the part where we end the show, and we've had Hope Lawrence.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Oh my God. It's okay, I mean.
Okay.
Well, no trouble. Thank you so much for being here on the show. Thank you very much for taking Martha's side. Thank you very much for bringing depth to the conversation. Really experienced conversation. And I hope Martha has learned quite a lot as well too. But at this point in time, I'm going to pass the ball back to Martha.
You didn't learn quite a lot?
So much I did.
Very good.
I learned a lot.
I like the fact that
Anyways,
thank you so much. All right, people, remember that we are active across social media platforms and Facebook and TikTok, on Instagram and X. We are Rapid TV, at Rapid TV. Then of course on YouTube you can rewatch all our episodes. Like, share, subscribe and leave a comment down below. Let's know what you think about the conversation at official Rapid TV, and on our website is www.rbnradiotv.com. It's been an amazing Wednesday overall. Remember, I am Martha Alo. You can call me Martha. See you tomorrow.
and of course I am Victor Arke. See you tomorrow. Let me go and count my losses with you.
Victor, what is
Nigeria's economy